Hello, my name is Connor Jones, the CEO of Flyer Life Group. I want to jump on and share the opportunity of working inside of our company. I know for a lot of you, if you've had a conversation maybe with a friend or even somebody completely random about exactly what we do, it can be confusing at first. Most of the time, it definitely sounds too good to be true. So I'm going to spend a few minutes and I'm going to give you kind of what I call a 10,000-foot overview of our business. And if you have any questions that are not answered in this video, please feel free to reach out to me directly or to the person who sent you to this video. So a little bit about me real quick. So again, my name's Connor. I actually got in the business back in, it was June of 17. So I've been in the business for a while now. But I found this business opportunity actually when I was still in high school. And for a lot of you out there, you're going to be older, maybe that you've already had the career, maybe you've taken a pay cut at work or you just feel stuck at work. But for me, when I was 18 years old, still in high school, I started looking around at that period of time, trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do with my life. And I remember looking back, and my father was a business owner in this industry, but I remember looking out at the crowd, right? I had friends, and I would look at their parents and people in the community. And what I noticed was there was a lot of people that still had mortgages, still had car payments, and had been working for companies for 10, 20, 30 plus years. And they were just hoping that they could get to retirement and hopefully have a decent 401k. And that's exactly what freaked me out. Now, there were a few people in the community, right? A friend of mine, his father was a dentist, owned 2 practices. So when I looked around, I knew that there were business owners in the area that I definitely looked up to. But for myself, was figuring out kind of where I fit into in the world and what I was willing to go out there and fight for. So when I found the insurance space, so to start off, right, we work in the insurance industry. It's a $1 trillion industry. And we're partnered with some of the largest insurance companies in the country. So we work in a very specific niche market called mortgage protection, okay? So how it works is when any homeowner closes on a loan, they receive or refinances a loan, they receive a form in the mail asking them if they want to look at an option to pay off their property in the event that they pass away or become sick, right? So on the forms that they receive, it says in the event that you died or if you had a critical, chronic, or terminal illness, you can look at options to pay off your property. So very simply, consumers that are interested in our product, they fill out the form. They either A, call it in, B, they fill it out online, either by going to a website or scanning a QR code, or the third way is they actually mail it in, which is where they legitimately take the paperwork, they put it back in an envelope, and then send it back to us, right? They're licking the envelope. So those forms are our lead source. So there's a huge marketing department behind us that is sending out all of these leads and collecting all that data and making sure that we have leads come in all across the country. But that is what our agents use, just like myself. So then once the leads come in, agents like me and maybe you, if you plan on joining the company, we get those leads from wherever we want to work. So I personally live in Ohio. I do business in about 4 states, North Carolina, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky. I've done business in Louisiana, Tennessee, Washington, all over the place, right? Because we do everything remotely. So after we take those leads, then the next step of the business, the first piece, is we then start booking appointments. So what we do when we book appointments is we call the client and then we schedule a time to go through that information. It normally sounds like this. Hello, is this Mr. Smith? Yes, hey, Mr. Smith, this is Connor Jones. I'm calling in regards to your mortgage with Fifth Third Bank for your property on the 123 Apple Street. Reason I'm calling, I was assigned to the paperwork you received in the mail, filled out and sent back to us. My job is to go through that information with you. What time are you off work, right? And then we're going to schedule a time with the client. After we schedule the appointment with the client, it's always when they're going to be available based on their schedule. Again, retired people are easier to get a hold of, but some people, well, most people work a full-time job, normally 9 to 5. So I normally run my appointments between 3:30 and about 8:30. Some nights are earlier, not really later than that. But I work Monday through Thursday. So after you schedule a time with the client and you get them on the phone, you go through about a 15 to 20-minute presentation, all right? How that presentation goes is it's all about serving the consumer. So the one thing to realize, and the reason I fell in love with this space, insurance first and foremost is extremely important. But most of the time when someone's just selling life insurance, it's looked at as a bonus, right? Hey, Bob Smith, it would be smart to have $500,000 of insurance to protect your wife and kids, right? Hey, Mrs. Smith, it would be smart for you to have some insurance for the kids when you die. With what we do, we're protecting their property, right? It's their largest liability and asset that every person has throughout their life. So when we get on an appointment with a client and we have what we call a needs analysis, it's basically a client worksheet. We fill it out with the client. It's basic information. The first part of it is finding out some health questions, kind of their health information, seeing what they can qualify for. The second piece of the presentation, right, is going through to see what we can actually do to serve our client. So after we go through that presentation, like a very basic example would be husband and wife, they have children. Let's say the wife stays home with the kids and works part-time. Let's say she makes $1,000 a month. The husband works full-time, providing for the family. He makes $4,000 a month. So that would be a household income of $5,000. Let's say their mortgage payment's $1,500 a month. If the husband were to pass away, that's going to leave, right, the lady and the children in a position where they're not going to be able to maintain that property. So very simple, we go through with the client, we have that understanding with them, and then we show them options to protect their family. So a question we get a lot is, well, how do you choose products, right? So they're built by these billion-dollar insurance companies, but we have what's called the Insurance Toolkit, which is a system to where you plug in a client's information, then it tells you what options are available. So once you show them those options, you're able to quote it directly through that Insurance Toolkit. Then you're able to go through an e-application, so there's no paper. You go through the questions with the client, you get to the end, choose what account they want it to come out of, and most of our products, you're going to get an instant approval at the end of the application, so you can tell them if they're approved or not, okay? So every time that you help a client, and I'm going to go into this in a second, but you normally get paid on average around $500 to $1,500, depending on the size of the case, right? So there's a lot of money involved with what we do. So that's the first piece of our business, which is directly selling to a consumer, right? Directly serving consumers. The name of the game in our business, though, is distribution, all right? So it doesn't matter what industry you come from. The example that I always go through is if we sold hot dogs. So let's say that you're at a company where they sell hot dogs. The name of the game is they have to sell hot dogs. They have to focus on distribution. So they could be calling different companies. Maybe they're the supplier for Costco, but they have to be able to move hot dogs because if they can't move their product, they don't make any money. So very simply in our space is we deal with distribution for billion-dollar insurance companies who build these products that they need to be sold or else they don't make any money. So we love our partners with the companies we work with. We love them to death. They write our paychecks, but they're incredible partners to us, and the products are incredible for the consumer. So the name of the game, again, is distribution. So how our compensation works is we go from a 70 to 140% compensation. So very easy example. The reason I love our compensation grid, by the way, is from the 70 to 140%, we actually call our system our Constitution. Everything is written in stone. So how it works very simply is there's sales goals or building goals that you have to hit in order to grow your compensation. So let's say that you come into the business like I did and you quickly build your compensation to 100%. At that level, if you help a client, and our average application is around $1,000 annually. We call it annual Well, it's APV, annual product volume, right? So when we write a policy for $1,000, that's what we're getting paid off of. So if you're at 100% contract, you're going to make $1,000. But how it works is these insurance companies, they pay us 75% of that in an advance, all right? So if you write a policy for $1,000 at 100% contract, you would receive $750 up front. But you are a business entity inside of yourself. And with these billion-dollar insurance companies, they have a contract with you that states that they pay you 100% on their product, okay? So let's say that you bring me into the business, right? I'm looking for an opportunity, and I plug in, and I start at a 70% compensation. When I write a policy for the same $1,000, I'm going to make $700. But I get, again, the 75% advanced. I think it's $550 if my math's wrong, sorry, all right? So I would make my $500 plus dollars. Since you created the distribution and you franchised yourself, the insurance company has a contract with you again for 100%. So they pay you the difference between your compensation. So on $1,000 that I wrote, you would get paid 30%. So which would be $300 and you get 75% up front. So call it again roughly $200, right? So every single time that I go out and I write a policy for $200, or excuse me, for $1,000, you're getting advanced roughly $200. So now you can see how fast you can scale that side of the business. Now here's what the beautiful part is, though, what I fell in love with. The opportunity is the same for someone tomorrow that it was when the company started years ago. Meaning when I come into the business, no one's holding me back. So again, let's use the example that you brought me into the business. You've worked to get to 100% and I'm at a 70. Let's say that you sit around, you start collecting your check and eating potato chips. Guess what? If I work my tail off, I can get to the same compensation as you in 2 months. So you actively have to be growing your business or else you're not going to make money off people, all right? We're not a pyramid scheme. The people who get paid are the ones who make the money. And oh, by the way, the only time that the company or anyone in the company makes money is off the sale of insurance. So what I love to share with people, and the same for you when you build your business, if I make 10%, so I make a dime every time you make $1, hey, guess what? I need you to make a lot of dollars. Does that make sense? So that's how our distribution works. So the first level of management in our company is called sales manager. How sales manager works very simply is it's you and 3 people, issue pay $25,000 in a month, all right? When you and your group do $25,000 in a month, you're going to start receiving a bonus check every month as long as you hit for $1,000, all right? Plus, you're going to be receiving the difference of your compensation. So at 10%, you're talking roughly $2,500 with a 75% advance. That's going to give you around $25,000 to $30,000 a year outside of what you're making directly talking to clients. All right. The next level is regional manager. It's you and 5 people doing $50,000, and that's really the benchmark of what we try to get people to continue to create cash flow. All right. So when you're coming into the business, there's 2 ways you can look at this. The first way is you could say, hey, Connor, I just want to sell, right? And I love sales. I've been doing this a long time. I love serving clientele. I still sell at a very high level. So if that's what you're looking to do, we're here to help you and walk you through that process. But let me tell you a little secret. I didn't get into the business to sell insurance forever. Because the one thing that I found out very quickly in this business and with a lot of industries is if someone is a real estate agent and they work their tail off for years, and let's say last year they made $500,000, guess what the problem is? January 1, they have to go out and duplicate that same activity to hopefully receive the same result. And here is what I learned. You're going to get tired. If I have to sell insurance for the next 20 years, I'm going to get tired, because there's going to come a point to where I'm working my tail off year after. Despite how much money I'm making, I'm going to get tired. So what I'm looking for and what I'm really looking to help people with is what I did in the business, which is where you go out and you create an incredible lifestyle and income for yourself, from helping and serving directly with every clientele, right? Direct to consumer. But at the same time you're going out and helping these clients, you're also creating and running your business. So as you go out and you can start making really good money, right, based on your efforts and how hard you're working, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 plus thousand, you can go out and also begin creating a business and creating that passive line of income. So a few things I love to share with people looking at the opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities out there where they talk a great game, but you never actually see what they do. So the beauty of our business working remotely is I actually run live appointments Monday through Thursday for anyone in our group to listen to. So you get to watch me talk with real clients on a day-to-day basis to see me validate the system. We also have a training system. Okay, it's a training course that you go through that goes through every piece of the business. It doesn't have mock examples. It has real live appointments for you to train on. But that's something that's really important to me, is when you plug in, you get to see the real thing. So when you're going through your learning curve, you know that the business is real because you see someone doing it on a daily basis. All right. So we do live training Monday through Thursday. Nothing's mandatory because you're self-employed. But we do Monday through Thursday. We have a call called the Daily Roundtable. It's from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. If you're at work, throw an AirPod in. If you're driving, right, put it on your Bluetooth. You can listen to it and plug in with the team. We recognize our top agents and we go through training. The second call that we do every day starts at 11:30. We plug in, we go through team numbers, and then we start going through dial questions. And then as a group, we continue booking up our appointments for the day. Then we do another hard start at 1:30, where we're going to go through some presentation questions, objections that you may be dealing with, or any problems in your business. And then from there, I start running my live appointments. All right? So our business, again, is extremely simple. So when you look at the opportunity, I love to share this with new people. When you look at opportunities, because a lot of you out there have always wanted to own a business. But when you look at starting a business, there's a lot of pieces to it, right? The first thing is you have to figure out what product that you want to sell, right? What product do you want to produce? The second piece, right, is you have to figure out a marketing strategy. How are you going to market your product to get it out there in front of consumers for them to purchase? Then you have to worry about different systems, different CRMs, right, being able to track your business. So the beauty of what we do is the products are already created by billion-dollar insurance companies. So we don't have to create any products, okay? Those are already created and built for us. The second piece, right, with marketing, you don't need to create a marketing strategy or have a marketing team. We have our lead system, which is where you can purchase the end result of $1 million a month operation creating these mortgage mailers and IVRs, which are the call-in leads. So we just get to purchase those directly off the map without having to spend the money on the actual marketing process. And then third is the systems. So inside of our company, you have free access to all of our training. You have free access to our CRM to track not only personal sales, but also to track your KPIs in your business, and it's all completely free to you. So in reality, what I'm looking for and what our company is looking for are people who want to go out and own their money and own their time and own their business. Because there's a lot of you out there, my favorite thing to ask you is when you look at your company and you look at the person in the same space as you who've been there the longest, you need to ask yourself, do you want their life? Do you want what they have, right? Or are you in a position where you are sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck or sick and tired of barely getting ahead, and you're looking for an opportunity to be able to get out of the minutia of what the workforce is in the United States, right? For a lot of you, when you look at senior citizens in our country and you look at people on Social Security, whenever you talk with them, if it's your grandmother, if it's a friend, they always say what? They say they're on a fixed income. And I love to share this with anyone who will listen. Anyone that collects a W-2, by the way, I respect you, but you're on a fixed income just as much as somebody on Social Security, because no matter how hard you work, you're going to be receiving the same check every single week or on a biweekly basis. I am obsessed with growth. Growth is my obsession. I don't care where I begin. I just need to know that I can continue to scale my business and improve myself and get paid for it. So if this opportunity seems like something that you would be willing to fight for, I would love for you to reach out to the person who sent this to you, or reach out to me directly so that we can schedule a time to talk. My phone number is 937-818-6253. If you have any questions, I look forward to talking with you and hopefully being able to teach you exactly what we do to put your family in the right position.